For example, the Lagos state governorship candidate for Labour Party is Gbadebo, and then his sister, she works for the government, which is headed by APC. And then her brother is literally campaigning for the same post as her boss. Now, there's nothing as interesting as two family members with different political opinion, and yet they can still keep their relationship.
Hello and welcome again to another exciting episode of your favorite show, Gist HQ. Here, like I said, we bring you the most amazing gist from across Africa and a lot more. Fasten your seatbelt, guys. You're in for a fabulous ride. Welcome back, everybody. So the gist I am bringing to you today is about politics and relationships. I mean, if you've been following my channel, you notice that we've been talking about politics for a while now. The 2023 elections have just been concluded, and I can say for sure that Nigerians are not the same. Everything about Nigeria is not the same anymore after this election. It has affected so many things, relationships and beliefs. But today we're going to talk about politics and relationships. And for that, I have three very amazing guests. So I'm going to start with the fabulous Dr. Fego Ofili. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
And I have Harry Godwins. You're welcome.
Thank you.
And I have Obaro Akpotili.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. Thank you for having me once again.
Okay, so it's always a pleasure to have you guys. So, the elections, the general elections have happened. The 2023 general elections have happened, and we all anticipated it. But I'm not sure we anticipated what happened after. It has changed a lot of things. So, Dr. Fego, how has this 2023 elections changed you, your views about so many things in Nigeria?
That question is deep. How has the elections changed me? I would say I'll start from the positive. The positive in the sense that I have this hope and belief that the youth population of Nigeria are not really adamant when it comes to politics. They're actually interested. The only thing is that they have not seen somebody that they could entrust their trust to. And Peter Obi of the Labour Party did that for them in this election cycle. So the issue over the years that we've been calling people to come out to vote hasn't really been about people not being interested in leadership and all that. It has been that the kind of quality of people, candidates we've had, hasn't really gotten people out of their homes or the nation. So for me, positively, it means that we actually are interested in our leadership. People are interested in deciding who their leaders are, but they just need credible candidates, people they can trust.
Yeah.
That's on the positive side. Another positive is that, so it's possible in this country to have a politician who they can look for whatever they cannot find anything to hold against him, to use to blackmail him. Wow, that's interesting. So that mindset of all politicians are dirty, as the mindset has reduced, has toned down for me.
Wow.
Because there are actually politicians who are in the systems, who are in the system, but they are not dirty. They're there for a purpose, they know what they're doing, and we should not just paint them with one brush. On the downside, I've seen another, Nigerians are very passionate, emotionally. We're so emotional, most times we pause our brain, we don't think. So I've seen that, wow, we still have an issue with tribalism, we still have a big issue with allowing people to actually air their opinion, and not align with your opinion, and just allow people to, so there's still that big problem where people bring in tribal issues or diversity and religion to politics.
So how about you, Harry? How has it changed you?
So, in different ways, in different ways in the sense that I'll pick up from what she said. One of the reasons why 2023 became different, 2023 election became different was 9 months before the election when Peter Obi left PDP. His first statement, maybe one of the first statements I heard was, "This is my person, this is my character," even before he picked the advice. And I was like, "See, go back, verify all these things. If you find anything against me, I will drop this risk." And I remember 1 week to the election, to the general election, I posted on my status and I said, if you are still asking yourself who to vote for, then they need to just literally bring out the brain and wash it. Because it's just clear. You know, if you have someone over the years, we've seen people say, "Oh, I've not done this, I've not done this," and you see EFCC, ICPC, DSS, you just see drama start happening around the person's life, you know. And this is 1 week to the election. I started doing a countdown. 4 days to the election, nobody has said anything about Peter Obi. This is our guy.
Yeah.
Like, even if you are waiting for the Holy Spirit to say something, this is it, you know.
Yeah.
And he got to election day and nothing
Nothing.
happened, you know. He ran and nobody was accusing anybody for anything. So it cleared a part of, just like she said, it cleared a part of myths that we've had growing up that politics was a dirty people.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay, so now we know politics is not a dirty game. So, Obaro, how about you?
This election has many positives. Key for me was there are some arguments that have been propagated over the years. Serious arguments, or should I call them statements, you know, statements that could demoralize people. Statements like, "Oh, that person can't win. Oh, do you know what it takes? You don't understand politics." There are some little no structures, you know, those statements will somehow have opened up, like, these things they are just things to, it's more like psychological rewiring, you know, they rewire us and we think in a particular certain way. So for instance, now you ask somebody and say, "Oh, Peter Obi can't win." Those kind of statements most of them have started eating their own words.
Yeah.
So it's key for me.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, thank you very much. So, like you said when you were talking that people are not allowing other people to air their opinions. You see, I've noticed that during this election period, a lot of relationships were scattered. And a lot of relationships are not the way they used to be, the ones that didn't scatter. So, how has politics affected you personally and your relationship on a personal level? Did you have any friend who was supporting another party and you were supporting a different party and they were always posting in your face? How did you manage that? Or a business client or something?
Okay, so for me, this election, 2023, I didn't really have much challenge with my relationships and anybody supporting a different candidate from mine. Fair enough, most of the people who were in my cycle supported a particular candidate and we are aligned, at least at the presidential level, right? Yeah. So I didn't really have serious, those who were supporting a different candidate were not close enough for me to have any day-to-day conversations with. So I could actually avoid them, avoid their tweets or their posts. So I really didn't have that challenge. But if it was maybe 2015, I had that challenge. Actually, it was in my house. And we found a way around it where we had to understand each other's, we understood that we were supporting different candidates, but we respected each other. So there were boundaries. Okay, there were certain programs we did not watch. We could watch the news, highlights and all that.
So, for example, the Lagos state governorship candidate for Labour Party is Gbadebo, and then his sister, she works for the government, which is headed by APC.
Yeah.
And then her brother is literally campaigning for the same post as her boss. Now, someone made a tweet and said, I think it was a tweet or on Arise, the person said, there's nothing as interesting as two family members with different political opinion, and yet they can still keep their relationship. Now, I think that's a lot of things, that's a very big form of maturity, because not every one of us in our homes have that. And it would be nice if they can teach that in school too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of us need to learn how to just appreciate the fact that, okay, you will like rice 3 times a day, and I would want to eat beans 3 times a day and still be fine. Do you understand? So if we can have that kind of ideology to keep our families going, then I think it will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah, me, I've had my relationship personally. It's from clients to family. Look, let me tell you. My father is from the old brigade. You understand? He's that place that will tell you that person can win. By yourself. So you have to convince my father that, hello sir, these are the youths now. And he's like, youths, you don't know Nigeria again. You don't understand. Like, should I be telling you about Nigeria? Is that thing that will tell you, like, it's telling you some new wisdom that has been of old. But as for friends, I've lost friends. I've lost friends. Yeah, there are some guys that find it hard to talk to me because sometimes I go over and I just say, man, you look very stupid doing that. And that was wrong. Yeah. So, but the fact that I told them, they're like, why would you say that to me after the block? But I know after the election, I said it even one of my posting that after this election, I'm going to call out to them and say, Baba, forget the election has come and gone, and we'll fight. Yeah. But at those particular, I don't want to hear those stories. Don't spoil my head. I can block you, I can unfollow you, because I need that sanity at this point of the election. Probably after the election, I can still call you and say.
So quickly, I want to say this because it's our history, and I think a lot of people don't even know about it. So the guy on our 10 naira notes, his name is Avani Koko, right? He actually ran same position with his son in 1979, different parties, and his son won him. So I feel if like I said, I don't know who did this to us, not to teach us our histories, because that's why most of us now, we just say things, you get. Because if we really know these things, then somebody cannot come and tell you, oh, let's quarrel over something. Or somebody cannot come and not agree with you and then not see you as, oh, he has a different opinion, I have a different opinion, but we can still do business together. Right? Now, if you were working in a place and your boss was supporting somebody, he expects everybody who is in that office to support that same person. The day you say something different, you might just get a query, or they just tell you stay, work from home.
Hey, thank you very much for that. So we'll go on a break and then we'll come back to continue from here. Thank you. So welcome back, guys. We are still on politics and relationships. You know that a lot of Nigerians have been complaining about celebrities and pastors who didn't really come out to endorse any political candidate. And I don't know why there's so much reaction. In fact, for some celebrities, some Nigerians have even gone as far as reporting their movies on Netflix for them endorsing a wrong candidate. Do we really think that politics is what all this is? Politics actually worth losing relationships and mentorships over? Obaro?
Yes. Yes or no? Or no. But most of the time I agree. I lean towards the yes. Somebody that is obviously mischievous, you can tell. You know, that's why there is dragging. You do anyhow. It's good to call out somebody that did wrong. But whether it should be a reason to soil the relationship, especially when the relationship is bigger than that particular politics. So you now have to weigh if the relationship that I have with this person is it far more bigger than the politics of the temporary politics now. So you have to weigh. If this person is a family friend, I'm not going to disown my brother. or my cousin because of that. Yeah, so it hasn't gone to that level. But if you know the politics, the relationship you have with this person is quite flat, then it's fine to a certain degree. Yeah, but because it's all about reasoning for me. If you don't have the most basic of understanding of issues, it's an issue. And if you try to spin it because you don't have much information and you try to spin it, it makes you look a bit off. To me, it can show a relationship. As for pastors, right? I understand the responsibility, the moral responsibility of some sorts that lies with pastors. Pastors are not, pastors want to be for everybody and for nobody. You know, they want to follow the Arif flag. So I followed Pastor Paul Adefara. I have to mention name, Pastor Paul Adefara, saying Daddy Gio, Pastor Enoch Adeboye, Bojo Yemade of Covenant and all. So they have, those people wants to be a bit, but we also have great men of God that were open, right? We have the Paul Eninche, we have the Pastor, Bishop David, but they were open with who they support, yeah? So in as much as I understand the moral responsibility, you now have to weigh this particular situation, look at the options on the table. I think there are some things that you don't even need spirituality for.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to say, that this election was different. So I agree with the yes part, where there's some relationships that just have to go when you see the foolishness. This election was not about, we have different parties with the same type of human beings. There was a clear difference in a particular party candidate.
Okay.
And our nation is in a critical state where we need to save ourselves. We cannot be going nose diving. You needed somebody, a pilot, to take over and at least take us in the right direction.
Steer us right.
It was not an election like every other one. It was a different election. So it was not the time for any religious leader or whoever to be on the fence. Right? They had to, even if you didn't say clearly who, what's his name? Oyedepo. Never mentioned any name.
Yes.
But in his speaking, you knew he was talking about.
Yeah.
So what stopped you from doing that with your platform? You have a platform. Well, we didn't even need the platform. The people still, well, it actually proved to me that they don't have so much power self. You don't have so much influence. The people have their mind. They have decided by themselves who they want to vote for.
Okay, so yeah, but I really think that we all have the right to either support someone or not.
Yeah.
Now, we notice that, in fact, there's some political parties that are saying that the obedience movement is toxic, because if you don't support them, they're going to drag your life. So I think that, we have the right as Nigerians to support whoever we want. Me not supporting who you want, like some celebrities, Teo Abraham, and then so many of them. This lady who even released them swearing in Ashwebi. So people have gone as far as unfollowing them, and then some of them are reporting their movies. Yeah, so I don't think that it should get to that point.
Do you believe that
But
was actually reported on Netflix, or you were just trying to make a
She was just,
Well,
I don't think she was just, maybe, I don't know. She must have perhaps to have said that. Maybe she got a mail or something, or an insider info that people are not going to respond to it.
okay,
But
so,
it was too far.
yeah,
For
but
me, you shouldn't go.
why-
you shouldn't
yeah.
go that far.
that celebrity has their own rights, just like you do.
Yeah.
So I don't think they should support. But I don't understand why people are dragging
So a lot of
them.
people look up to people.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So a lot of people look up to people for just some reasons. One of the things I grew up learning, I don't know if it's right to say this, but when people say, I have a mentor, I always ask them, how much do you know that mentor? Because you might have a mentor that you are following all your life, and then you discover that mentor is just showing you what you need to see.
Yeah.
Then the day you really know the mentor, you would.
There's always a caveat, there's always a clause that they attach to that. Get the message, but don't focus on the personality. They want to try to make that distinction
So
clear.
she made a comment about pastors. This was the time not to sit on the fence.
Yes.
For goodness sake. These are the same pastors every Sunday that preach
Pray
to
for
us.
Nigeria.
No, that preach to us.
Pray for Nigeria.
God hates lukewarm and
Yeah.
hot.
Yes.
You have to be either hot or you are cold. You do not have to be lukewarm. God will spit you out. You see,
Nigerians are
this is the reason why I don't like discussing politics and men of God, because the truth of it is, you don't practice what you preach.
What if they had a revelation from God to be silent?
So,
no.
I think God didn't give anybody revelation.
This year there was no revelation from anybody.
So this
And
is-
that is our brain.
no, so this is
The
it.
revelation was clear.
Even if we had seen revelations before, and we know how those revelations go, they go the way your spirit wants, according to the man of God. Yes, were they prophecies this year? Yes, but people didn't care. Because, like I said, you didn't need the Holy Spirit to, you needed the Holy Spirit to tell you, because obviously it now sounded, maybe that part where he said relationship, and for people like us, we started comparing. If I see somebody who talks foolishly, I just believe you don't have the spirit of wisdom, which is part of the seven spirits of God.
You see, sorry, what you're saying now, right? I have friends who actually have friends who are actually contesting in this election,
Okay.
who were candidates, either for House of Rep or state or federal, right? And I noticed something. They were in different parties, APC, PDP. I don't think I knew anybody in Labour Party. It was only Peter Obi that I focused on, right? Something I noticed about these friends I'm talking about. One of them especially, APC supporter, the way he was putting and dragging anybody that was not supporting his presidential candidate, I was so ashamed. The last thing, I'm just holding myself not to unfollow him on Facebook and still have his number, because it was a shame to me. I did not believe that you can be this shameful. What are you looking for? Is it appointment as SSA or something that you will be this shameful? All of us have been talking about a new Nigeria. We've been doing youth activism for a while. And then you are supporting somebody that is, okay, fine, it's okay you support him. But the way you are dragging other people, insulting them just because they say, guy, this thing you are doing, I'm disappointed in you. I also have candidates who are the same, or friends who are the same APC, who their presidential candidate was the same person. But one day, I did not see a post about that presidential candidate on their page. Just said a lot to me. Yeah. They didn't have to tell me, don't vote for this person. But the fact that they never posted it on their social media,
It was clear.
it was clear that they knew that, okay, I'm a candidate as social senator or whatever, but I really do not endorse that guy. So that tells me a lot about that relationship, and okay, we are connecting somewhere in this area. If you had your way, if you were not in that party, you would not vote for this person. So there's something about, there's a kind of people you forgive for, oh, you are in this party, you are running on this
But you have sense.
But you have sense to say, guy, I'm not going to push.
What was this? It's clear. You can see what it is.
There's somebody else who is not even running on the platform, he's just a member, or maybe a card-carrying member.
He doesn't even have card. He doesn't have
Just
card.
insulting everybody, dragging everybody. Are you serious?
Okay, so let's take a short break, and then when we come back, we are still discussing politics and relationships. Stay tuned. Okay, welcome back, guys. We are still talking about politics and relationships. So before we go, we're going to talk about some pastors that invited some of the politicians that Nigerians have rejected to their churches. I'm not actually, I don't know if they were invited, but I mean, if they come to your church, you can just acknowledge them without giving them a platform to speak. That's not a campaign ground. It's an altar, it's a sacred place. So what are they doing there if actually you are not campaigning for them? What do you think about that?
Okay, for me, and the only example I have of that happened quite recently during these elections was that of the current governor of Lagos State, right? Babajide Sanwo-Olu, where prior to the elections in total, he more or less ignored every invitation.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, when the party without the people or 4 people tweeting from the room made a statement after the presidential election, you now deem it fit to actually present yourself to the people and not really tell them what you are going to do, but just show that, okay, I'm your governor, I love you, and tweeting per second. sending us threats, whatever. So I think it's just politics they're playing, and I do not support the churches that gave them the mind to speak. Fine, that you came to the church is fine, right? You can sit wherever you were seated. We could acknowledge your presence because as Christians we respect our leaders, right? We even pray for them. But giving them the platform to now speak, that was for me. It wasn't supposed to happen, in my opinion. If I felt like you were endorsing them by doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. So pastors have this thing of saying that they don't just give people platforms. Be like, oh, you don't just give anybody a platform. So if I could sing very well and I visited a church, the pastor won't just give me a platform to sing.
Yeah.
No, because probably I'm not baptized from this church.
Yeah, you're not spiritual
I'm not
enough.
spiritual enough. He doesn't really know my spiritual.
You didn't
I
rehearse.
think he has those kind of things and excuses. They will tell you why they can't give you their platform. Here's a gubernatorial candidate that obviously nobody knows what he's up to. Because this is the same guy who has refused every debate throughout the electoral cycle, and then got to the point where it became obvious that they are going. And it became like, okay, how do I appease these people? And he shows up in the church. I think it is rude, first of all, to show up in a church that you've never been there because you're the governor. Okay, then you show up and then you expect that reverence and all the honor they give to you. Then I feel people, men of God, who, just like I said, practice what you preach. If I have put a rule down that, oh, somebody will not cross this part of my house, or because only people who are like this have to cross it, then I should do it around across the board.
Yeah.
I shouldn't just come that, oh, this person is honorable. Because the truth of the matter is, I've said some things several times. Most of our HON people, okay, even I think the Labour Party presidential candidate said it well. If you want to be called an excellence, let the process that takes you there be excellent. You get, don't come and be, because just like Ukwa said, if you want to talk to us directly. Don't come to the corner. Because that's what this person ended up doing throughout the period after the presidential election. The things we've never seen you do. Markets got burnt. Yes, for 4 years you were governor. You didn't visit anybody. You didn't see anybody. You were not showing empathy to anything because you felt it was a one-way thing to get in office. Now you saw the result of presidential. You felt like, oh, okay, I have to do usher in church. I have to shake people's hands. He was lucky I wasn't in that.
Let me try to understand something, because in political this season, if you antagonize from this way, is all the political banters basically. If you banter from this way, they always show you a mirror from this other side. So for instance, my favorite candidate, Peter Obi, has gone to churches.
Yeah.
You get? So they will bring up his argument. The opponents, as it were, would say, our guy was going to churches now. So what makes you think? What makes you think? They have no rights to be in churches. And when the truth is, when Peter Obi comes, even the church, the pastor can't help it. You have to even try to give him to just say something anyway. So I try to understand it from that angle. So there's now saying, okay, if your guy can do it, then we can do it. There's a justification for them now. It's an argument that seems a bit right now in that sense. So I can say, okay, someone who did it to the elections, he went to church, he was going everywhere. And I'm looking at, okay, my favorite candidate actually did it. Yeah. Does that really counterbalance that particular part?
Yeah, I don't think it does. It doesn't, because that's your favorite candidate was everywhere.
Yes.
If I believe if a radio station that they established yesterday
Invited
that
him.
had 100 listeners invited him and believe he will go.
He was
Because he was looking for a job
Everywhere.
and he wanted every
be everywhere.
opportunity to talk to the people.
in that space.
Yes.
Do you understand? So that's the difference. This other guy did not care about anybody.
Even in interviews where his pictures were put like, okay, he's expected to come, he doesn't show up.
So what's
It's
the
very
difference
good.
now is when you have seen the results of the presidential, you now believe that, oh, I have to actually show up. Oh. And it's not just him, even almost all the governors who have people they are now bringing in to take over from them. Because most of them do not have second term. They're actually rounding up their second term. But they have somebody who they've anointed to take
a
over.
protege
They
of
are now
the-
going to different churches, and so it's not even only Lagos. All of a sudden, they are now all going to those places.
There is one
Beg.
part. There is one part of this conversation that I have issues. Lagos is quite a very media open. They are very open to media. So
Yeah.
we have a lot of conversations around Lagos, right? But do you know in other states? Let me bring up my Delta state to the situation. There are some things that people don't even think about. They don't do debate in that state. Yeah. So most times. Like the last interview I even watched of this so-called guy that is making wave now, I don't want to call him name, the APC candidate, Omar Gege something. The last interview that I had was about how they have been rigging over time, right? That's one of the, it's actually BBC that did the interview when he was speaking pidgin now. And I was looking at, you can't go online now and source for media conversations. We want to blame even someone for at least not coming to the media. At least he started doing some little things that we're saying. In some other states, I can say it's only Lagos that have this privilege. Out of the 36 states and even FCT, the other 35, they just assume this is who we are going to vote for. Like at least Arise can summon Gbadebo, Doherty, and Jandor to come to a media rally. In other states, in fact, I'm very, very particular about my state. There is nothing.
Maybe we should work on that for the next election. Not this one.
Seriously.
Yeah, we should organize because the media needs to do that. If not, they will keep hiding on that.
I think it's high time we start having town hall meetings.
Yes.
Not because of this party or that party, no. Let's start knowing people. Now I'm saying, 2027 I want to run, or somebody saying 2027 they want to run. Yes, oh yeah, let's go. You understand? And then the election is over. You're like, I'm taking the case to court, You do, then election cycle comes again, you show up again. So I think it would be nice if people can start having town halls from, even if it's just a gathering of 10 people, a gathering of 30 people. It doesn't have to be hundreds or millions, but every time you do a gathering of such discussions of things that are happening in society, maybe your ward, your area, make it video recorded, because I think everybody has a phone now.
Yeah.
So that for future's sake, and then you can say, this person 6 years ago was not this person, or it's not this person now. This person doesn't have these values. This person is just playing to the tune of this moment.
And everybody will be probed from those particular set of videos that can be shared right from the onset, right? Because one thing I find hard to understand is somebody jumping from anywhere and coming to come and rule us now.
So this is one thing.
Even at the chairmanship level.
So this is one thing I love about the American politics, and I'm going to just say this again. It is sweet that when we fail, we fail together. When we win together. You don't see one party say, because it is Democrats that are in now, I'm swapping. And then the next election season, Republicans win. It's like, I used to be here, I have my Republican card. I'm coming back to Republican. He's back there and says all the nonsense about Democrats. And then things change again, he goes back here and says all the nonsense about, you understand? So there's this integrity.
Ideology, they stood for something that you could run with.
Exactly.
It's very unfortunate you cannot see that in Nigeria.
The fact that we can
see it.
we can see
You
it.
can't see it yet.
Yet.
Okay, so that's all we can take today on politics and relationships. I'll leave you with these words. Politics is not what losing relationships over. Close relationships, actually. So thank you very much for your time. Always remember to keep a date with me every week on this channel. Don't forget to like and subscribe and send in your comments. Thank you very much to my amazing guests. Until I come your way again next week, it's bye-bye for now.